Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest ukulele warm-up, and nice to see so many people, as always, joining in. What we're going to do first of all is I'm just going to give you a little warm-up exercise that's not just particular to ukulele players. It's anyone who plays a musical instrument does it. So you can no longer call yourself a ukulele player. You can now call yourself a musician, because this is what all musicians play. And it's what's called the chromatic scale warm-up. Now that's the name of it. That might mean something to you. It doesn't matter if it does or doesn't. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to play the chromatic warm-ups, chromatic scale warm-up on a ukulele. So get your ukuleles, and what it's going to do, it's going to help warm up all four fingers separately, and also your coordination, and also your ears as well. So you take your first four fingers on your left hand and you place them on the G string with your first finger on the first fret, or in the gap between the first fret and the open. So on the where you normally play the first fret. Your second finger on the second fret, your third finger on the third fret, and you know where this is going, your little finger on the fourth fret. So just place them, doesn't matter, you don't have to press hard, just gently lower your four fingers in a straight line on that G string, first four frets, yeah? So all that's doing is showing you which frets or which notes those fingers are going to play for this exercise. You're just positioning in it. Now, just raise those four fingers all at the same time, just so they're a couple of millimeters above the string. I mean, that's an achievement in itself, actually. So just have your first four fingers just so they're hovering above those four frets. Okay. Now, with your right hand, this is where you need to pluck the string. If you've got your fingers raised now slightly, you can pluck the string and you'll hear the note G. So just pluck the note. Yeah, you'll hear the note G. Now, put the first finger down on the first fret and pluck that note. By the way, you can use whatever you like for the right hand, if whatever you normally pluck with, a finger, thumb, or a plectrum. Now put your second finger down. Leave the first finger down. Now put the second finger down, and you'll get the second note. Can you hear the notes getting higher? Put the third fret down, or third finger down on the third fret. And then finally, you should have all four fingers down, and you'll hear the fourth note. So if I was to play that slowly, one finger at a time, you'd hear this. Yeah, if you'd like to just have a go on your own, just playing those four notes one at a time, starting with the open string, and then the first finger, the second finger, the third finger, and the fourth finger. Now, if it's hard keeping all those fingers down at the same time, it's okay to just press one finger down, then with the next finger, raise the first finger, and so on, because it can be quite difficult depending on your fingers, of course. And so that's the first string. Now, just to put you into a musical context, because I did say you're now musicians, not just ukulele players. If I go to a piano, that's an open G. Yes, because it's a G string, so the note is G. So if I went to a piano, I don't know if hopefully you can hear that. That note is a G. Now, if I do the same thing on a piano, I'm just going through the white note, then the black note next to it, then the white note, then the next black note. And that's the same notes on a piano as it is on the ukulele. So I'm just connecting the two so you can see what you're playing in respect of music. So let's just do that again. So after four, we're going to do it in time this time. Those five notes, yeah, the open followed by the four fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. One wasn't very good, but that's good. Let's go on to the next string, because we're going to do all four strings. On the next string, you only use your first three fingers. Now this is because of the way the ukulele is tuned, so just accept that as a fact. So we're just going to play the first, with the open, followed by the first 3 fingers. So your little finger gets a rest for this one. So we're now onto the C string, and after 4, those 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, now because of the tuning of the ukulele strings, you hear that drop, don't you, from the high-pitched G string to the low-pitched C string, unless you've got a low G. But let's do the 2 strings now, and we're going to do them as seamlessly as possible. So as soon as you finish the G string, you move to the C string, preferably without hesitation. So from the G string, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the C string, and then stop there. So I'm not going to use a little finger. Okay, everyone okay so far? Yeah, good, 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 good. Your fingers are all glued to the fret, so you can't stick your thumb up, can't you? Right. Let's move on to the E string. Now the E string and the A string, the last 2 strings, are exactly the same as the first string, that you do all 4 fingers, including the little finger. So we're just going to do those 2 straight through. So we're going to do the E and the A string after 4. That will be 10 notes in all. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string, A. And your little finger will then finish on the 4th fret of the A string. Okay, and that's a bit of a random note to finish on, but it's just because that's how many fingers you've got. If you were a different kind of animal with more fingers, you'd be finishing somewhere else. So what we've just played is the chromatic scale all the way down from that G up to that rather odd note there, that C sharp, on the A string. Now, as I say, because of the tuning of the strings, you have this high G string. You do have that drop in the middle, which is a bit unusual, and you wouldn't get that on other instruments. But as a physical exercise for warming up the fingers and coordination, we're just going to treat it as going across the strings. G, C, E, and A, 4, 3, 4, and 4. And that's the same as just going up the keys on the keyboard. Same sort of thing that a piano player would do, or a singer, or a clarinet player. They all do the same thing when they're warming up. They just play the chromatic scale warm up. So let's do the whole thing. Yep, okay. So we're going to start from the G string, go all the way up to that 4th fret on the A string. I do it nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. Next string. Next string. And finish there. We'll do that one more time, and then that's the sort of exercise you could do every time you pick up the ukulele, and it's kind of limbers up the fingers. It's a bit like warming up before and doing some running or some other sort of exercise. One more time, then all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next string. Next string. There you go. That's the chromatic scale warm-up. We'll do that each time in the future without all the explanation. I'll just say, right, now the chromatic scale warm-up, and you'll be able to just go through the strings. If you'd like a little bit of background, what you're playing are all the notes in the semitones that are available on any instrument, like a piano. So, for example, that G, when you play the next note on the 1st fret, that's a G sharp. Yeah, that's the next note going up. After that, it goes back down to A. The next note is A sharp. After A sharp becomes B. And then after B, there's no B sharp. Well, there is, but not in our world. So we've gone to C on the C string, although it's a low C. C sharp, D, D sharp. You get the idea. E, there's no E sharp. Again, not in our world. So it's F, G, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp. So if you wanted to learn all your notes of your instrument, that's how you work them out as well. Because eventually people do actually learn what the names of those notes are. You can get by playing songs without knowing those. But anyway, good. Right, well, let's the warm-up begun in terms of the chromatic scale. We're going to move on now to our usual strumming. So if you get ready for that, I'm just going to change ukuleles, actually. So one sec. And we're going to do the chords of the key of D minor. So I'm just going to grab the other one. Just for strumming, I like to use the one with the low G. Oops, crash. Just to give it a bit more of a low depth. Right, I'm just going to put onto the screen now the chords that we're going to be... Oh, no, first of all, no, before I do that, let's just quickly run through the chords that we're going to be strumming today. So first of all, D minor. Let's hear everybody. Well, I'm not going to hear you, am I? Let's play a D minor, everybody. Yeah, 2, 2, 1 note. F. 2, 0, 1 note, very similar. G minor. So that's 0, 2, 3, 1. 0, 2, 3, 1. Good. A minor. You all know that one. Well, I'm sure you know all of these, but 2, 0, one of the first ones you learnt. 2, 0, 0, 0. A7. 0, 1, 0, 0. Everyone's favourite, B flat. Just keep having a go at B flat if you haven't quite got there yet. It's 3, 2, 1, 1. Just remember that nothing is hard, just unfamiliar. And then finally C. They're all the chords we're going to do today. So, right, let me just get the screen up with the chords on. And I'll just... Let's do that again. That's lost it. Right, let's bring that down. So here's our first strumming pattern. Chord progression number 1. D minor, C, B flat, A7. And I've put there the strumming pattern as well. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, do, 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 do. Yep, so that's our strumming pattern. I think the ukulele switched on. I will do 2 bars of each chord. Now, do I normally have a metronome on? I think I do, don't I? Let's get a metronome on. Okay, we're going to strum those 2 bars, or 2 of those strumming patterns per chord, starting with D minor, then C, B flat, and A7. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, B flat, A7, D minor, C, B flat, and repeat. Last time. And finish on D minor. And that's the first chord progression. We're going to repeat that, but just one bar per chord. If you do get to a chord that you find a bit difficult and it's not happening, do stay with the music. That's more important by 100% than struggling to get that chord right. So, you know, like the B flat, for example, just mime it or scratch the strings, but keep that rhythm going. That's the important thing, because the chord will come eventually, but it's important to keep that rhythm going all the time when you're on a chord which your fingers aren't quite reaching. So what's more important is you get to that A7 at the right time with everybody else, rather than still trying to get the B flat to work. So nothing wrong in a bit of air ukulele when on a chord that you can't play. Right, let's do the same chord sequence, but only one bar per chord. And it's going to go past a little bit quicker, so I'm just going to slow it down slightly. And here we go. So one bar for each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, B flat, A7. And repeat. Last time. Finish on D minor. We're finishing on D minor each time because we're in the key of D minor, and songs always tend to finish on the key chord when they get to the end. So, okay, let's move on to chord progression number 2. Oh, by the way, that first chord progression was a standard sort of Spanish style descending chord progression. You can see it alphabetically, it's going down, isn't it? D down to C, down to B, flat down to A, then repeating. So you'll see that. Right, okay, let's move on. This is, I think we did this last time. We did the chords from This Is the Life by Amy MacDonald, and we did it in the key of A minor last week. 2 weeks ago, and this time I've got it in the key of D minor, of course, and inevitably it brings in the chord of B flat again, so that's getting a lot of practice, which is good. So we're going to do the second chord progression. Notice I've got a different strumming pattern for this one. So down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Yeah, okay, so that's the pattern. Let's get the tempo going. 2 bars per each chord. 2 strumming patterns for each chord. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat. F. A minor. And repeat. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Finish on D minor. There we go. That's chord progression number 2. We'll do that again in a minute with 1 bar per chord. Somebody did ask me about finger picking, and not something I'd include in a warm-up particularly. I mean, it's a good thing to do, but you can, if you like finger style, where you actually just pluck the where you're plucking individual notes rather than strumming, you can still follow these chords and strum, do your finger style along with me strumming the chords that are on the screen. So long as you keep your left hand playing the chord shape at the right time, the right hand can pick a finger picking style, etc. As long as you're following the music and following the beats, you can pick rather than strum. So it's something you might want to think about if you'd like to just do something a little bit different during the warm-up. So although I'm just asking you to strum the pattern that's shown on the screen, of course you can be inventive and do your own picking style. Okay, back to strumming. So we're going to stick to chord progression number 2 one more time. This time we're just going to do 1 bar per chord. I'm going to keep the same speed, which is 110 beats a minute. So it's not particularly fast. In fact, this song would be a lot faster if Amy McDonald was playing it and singing it. Here we go. After 4, 1 bar per chord. Progression number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. B flat, F, A minor, and repeat. One more time. Finish on D minor. Okay, that's chord progression number 2. And as I say, that's based on the chords to This Is the Life by Amy McDonald, if you wanted to go along and listen to that, which is in the key of C sharp minor, which isn't the easiest key to play, but she probably uses a capo. Okay, we're going on to our 3rd and final chord progression of the warm-up today, and this is a longer one. It's a 12-bar chord progression. In the musical parlance, it is known as a 12-bar minor blues. So because it's got mostly minor chords and it's in a minor key, it's a minor blues, and it's a minor 12-bar blues. Most blues are 12 bars long. And some of you may recognize it, actually. It is the chords from Black Magic Woman by Fleetwood Mac and Santana, and written by, oh, goodness me, why has his name disappeared? Peter, somebody put it in the chat box, I've forgotten. Oh, dear. Anyway, the guitarist who wrote this has died recently. And so we're going to strum through it. The pattern is down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down. I'm going to be thinking of that guitarist's name now, aren't I? All the way through this. Peter Green. God, how did I forget that? Peter Green, the guy who played guitar on Albatross. Well, he wrote Albatross. and Black Magic Woman, and a lot of other big hits in the early Fleetwood Mac, the blues version of Fleetwood Mac, before the later guys came along and had those massive albums in the charts later on in the 80s. So anyway, Peter Green wrote Black Magic Woman. Santana made a lot of money out of it and made it a big hit for him. And unfortunately, he died recently. So here we go. Just going to be down, down, up, up, down, up. Only one per chord because we're sticking to the actual song itself. We're going to play this as if we're playing. If you know the song Black Magic Woman, then sing along. Here we go. Metronome. And 1, 2, 3, 4. A minor. G minor. D minor. A7. D minor. And rest. 2, 3, 4. Top. And 1, 2, 3, and rest. 2, 3, 4. Let's do that one more time. 2, 3, 4. G minor. And finish on the D minor. Yes, there we go. The chords to the song Black Magic Woman, written by Peter Green from Fleetwood Mac and made into a big hit originally by Santana. So, okay, well, that concludes the strum along part of today's sessions. So let me just take that off the screen. And we're just going to finish off by just winding down slightly with our usual little kind of a game, I suppose, of I'm going to play a chord and you've got to work out what it is. And just using your ears and fingers and your ukulele. And I'm going to hide my ukulele so you can't see the fingers. And here we go with one of those chords that we played earlier today. Which one is this? And as a clue to get started, think to yourself, is it a major, bright and happy, or is it a minor, sort of melancholy sound? That narrows it down. Here we go. Here's a chord. Okay, now do you reckon that's major or minor, first of all? Thumb up for a major, thumb down for a minor. So we got, I think the majority are saying, oh no, it's one or two majors. No, that was a minor chord. So, well, if a minor chord makes you happy, you're probably in a very good frame of mind. So that was a minor chord. And anyone got any guesses as to what it was? Now, how am I going to ask this? Up for D minor, down for G minor. G minor, that's right. Yeah, all going down. Good, that was G minor. Okay, let's move on to another chord that we've been playing this morning. No, that's got a special flavour to it, that chord has. I'm not sure how to ask this, so you can perhaps hold up a number of fingers to represent it. There's a clue in the question there. Okay. 7. A7. That was A7. That's right. Okay, well, I think 1 or 2 of you got that. Good. Let's just do one more chord then. And now you can run through all those chords again and see which one matches. Major or minor? Up for major, down for minor. Up for major, down for minor. Yeah, I think most of you are saying minor. That's good. I've already had G minor, so we're left with G minor or A minor. So up for D minor, down for A minor. Up for D minor, down for A minor. Mostly up, it's D minor. In fact, the reason I'm playing it is because we're in the key of D minor, and if you don't finish any piece of music on the key chord, you feel a little bit of unfinishedness in your mind. You feel restless. So we've got to finish the session with the key chord. And then if I finish on A7, that previous one, you're going, oh no, I can't. Don't leave it like that. Finish on the D minor. Resolve it, that's the word. Okay, everybody. Let's finish the warm-up for today. And nice to see so many of you still coming along and joining in. And I will be back in 2 weeks' time. And we'll do another key and a bit more of that chromatic key warm-up, as chromatic scale warm-up as well. And if you've got a message to leave, put it in the chat box. And I will read them afterwards. And also, if you arrived here via a link somebody sent you and you want to be on the mailing list, send me your email address. Put that in the chat box as well. And then I'll include you on future mail outs too. There'll only be a couple of 2 or 3 a month. So then I'll stick this on YouTube and you can watch it all again. Right, you can unmute yourself and say goodbye to everybody. And thank you very much. See you in a... Yep.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hiya.
Bye, Paula.
Hello, everybody. I haven't said hello to already.
Bye, Bill.
Bye, Paula.
Yeah, bye, Bill.
Bye.
Bye, Bill.
What a racket.
Okay.
Call yourself musicians.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Earlier.
I'll leave this bit on YouTube. You can watch the big farewell at the end. Right. Well, if you want to hang around and chat with each other, you're welcome to. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. So.
Okay. Enjoy. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. See you then.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Gary. Bye, Judy.
Right. I think conversation's drying up, so I'm going to finish it now.
Bye.
Bye.
Final goodbye after 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
Bye.